What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Night YouTube channel. In today's video, guys, I'm going to be teaching you how to play Hunted Kobayashi Tower by Gabe Barrett. Quick little introduction before we get into the tutorial and playthrough. It's your wife Sharon's birthday, so you decided to surprise her at work with some roses and that expensive chocolate she's always craving. Your marriage has been in a bit of a rough spot lately, and you were hoping today would be a turning point. Little did you know that as you arrived at Kobayashi Tower, a group of terrorists were securing the building and rounding up everyone inside as hostages. Using your military training, you managed to elude them, but your wife has been taken and is somewhere in the building. Now, you'll have to work your way through the skyscraper and rescue your wife, all while the terrorists try to hunt you down. That is the setup for Kobayashi Tower, guys. This game is so freaking good, man. I have been having a blast playing this off camera, and I'm excited to bring you guys this tutorial and playthrough video right here. So it is a 1 to 2 player game. It's a pretty small box game too. 1 to 2 players. We're going to be going over the solo single player variant in today's video. It takes about 20 minutes to play. It's for ages 13 and up. And of course it says, work your way through Kobayashi Tower to rescue your wife, who's been taken hostage by terrorists. Roll dice, rescue hostages, and take down bad guys before the time runs out. Cool stuff, dude. So we're going to set the box off to the side. The game also comes with this really awesome rule book right here. I would say it's in full color. I mean, I guess it technically is, but everything is blue, which is really, really neat. Kind of reminds me of Hope of the Stranded, the Mint Tin game where everything is blue. Really cool stuff. But yeah, great rule book right here. Teaches you all the rules of the game, obviously, like any good rule book should do. So good stuff right there. You've got that with the game as well. But hang out with me here and I'll teach you how to play the game right here. So let's go over all the components, guys. We're going to have a bunch of dice over this way that are mainly going to be used for different weapons that you're going to get in the game. Different weapons will allow you to roll different dice, whether it's D6, D8, D10. We've got a D12 right here even. Then we've got some little tokens up this way. We've got your ammunition tokens or magazine tokens that will go on your weapons. You've got some target tokens that you'll use to cover up some damage values on the terrorist cards, which you'll see later on. We've got a couple of dice modifier tokens right here, and then we got some key tokens as well. And you'll collect those as we move you move through the game and explore the tower. Okay, then we've got a reference card over this way. It tells you some times that you're going to have to spend time on your time track, which we'll get into. So it's got those listed here as easy reference. And then it's got all the icons that are in the game. There's 9 icons in the game. You've got a move icon with the little shoe. You got a search icon with the magnifying glass. The key is the key. Who would have thought? You've got a noise icon, which is like a little white bell. You've got an item icon, which is a hand like this. You've got a weapon icon. It's like some ammunition, some bullets. A hostage icon. It's kind of hard to see this one, but it's 2 hands like that are like bound up. That's the hostage icon. Then you've got a location icon. It looks like a little ping on a map. And then you've got a test icon, which has an exclamation point. So there you go. And this card is double-sided. It's got the same thing on both sides. So you can keep this on the table if you want. So you got a nice little reference, but chances are you're gonna remember these and learn these really quickly. I didn't even need this for my first playthrough. You'll pick up on it pretty quickly, I'm sure. Cool. So let's go over the player board here. So there's a couple things to look at on the player board. First, you got your health. You're going to start with a blue cube in the 6 slot. 6 is the maximum health that you can have in the game, and you can work your way all the way down to 1. And if you reach 0 and lose all your health, you lose the game. If you're on this left side of the board where the blue hearts are from 6, 5, and 4, you'll get to roll 2 test dice, which are these 2 white dice right here. You'll get to roll 2 of these dice whenever you're performing test actions in the game. And if you're over here and you have 3 or less health on the white hearts, you'll only get to roll 1 test die whenever you do tests in the game. And then down below, you've got your time track. You're going to start on 20 times. So you'll put a blue cube in the 20 slot, and you'll work your way down as you perform certain actions in the game, like rolling dice, firing your weapon, if you're instructed to by a card, or if you choose to hide. And if you ever run out of time and you drop below 1 and go to 0 time, you lose the game. So that's the 2 ways to lose. If you lose all your health, or if you lose all of your time. Then you're going to start with a couple of items in the solo mode. And again, we're only going over the solo variant of the game in this video. The 2 cards that you're going to start with, let's move these to the side for a second so you can see. You're going to start with the handgun and the chocolates, and they're denoted as starting items by these stars up in the top left corner of the card. So you'll start with a handgun. It's going to get 3 magazine tokens and it's going to get 4 6-sided dice. So you'll take your 3 magazine tokens. You can stack them if you want, or how I like to do it is I like to actually lay them out on the card so I can see easier how many I have. And then you take your 4d6 and you set them on the card like so. This is going to be the type of dice that you roll when you fire this weapon. Then you're also going to start with the chocolates. Discard to re-roll any number of dice you just rolled. And pretty self-explanatory. It's just an item that you can use to discard and re-roll any number of dice that you rolled. Cool. So those are your starting gear. This is your starting setup on 6 health and 20 time. And you got your 2 test dice. And you're pretty much ready to go there. So now we're going to go over the cards, which are the bulk of the game. You got 2 different decks. You've got the Hunted deck, which has Kobayashi Tower on the back of it. And then you've got the Location deck, which has you, presumably, running down a hallway with guns firing at you. And it's got the location icon printed in the bottom right corner of the card. So first, we're going to set up the location deck. So we're going to flip it over, and you want to locate the roof location card. And we're going to set that card off to the side for now. It's also got a little star up in the top right corner, and it's called roof. So as long as you can read 4-letter words, you should be good. You should be able to find this. Then you're going to take the rest of the cards, shuffle them up. I like how they put the star just in case, though. We're going to shuffle this up. And we're going to remove 2 of them. So you're going to take 2 and remove them from the game and set them off to the side. This is going to add a little bit of variance to the game each time. There's always going to be 2 that are removed from the deck. So you'll be left with 14 cards. Let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then your 15th card will be the roof card over here. Now what you're going to do is take the top 2 cards, deal them face down, and then flip the roof card over, and you're going to shuffle the roof card in with those 2 cards. Like so. It's kind of hard to shuffle 3 cards, but if you do it long enough and just don't pay attention, you'll get it lost in there. There we go. That's good. Then you're going to take those 3 cards without looking and put them on the bottom of the location deck. So now that roof card is one of the last 3 cards in the deck, and the goal of the game is to make it through the whole location deck, get to the roof, defeat the last boss, and save your wife. That is the goal of the game. So you're trying to get through this location deck as quickly as possible. And then we've got the big Mac Daddy right here, this big old deck of cards right here. This is the Hunted deck, and this symbolizes Kobayashi Tower. This is what you're actually traversing and going through, almost like a dungeon crawler, but you're crawling through a skyscraper crawling. So all of these cards are going to symbolize different events, items, terrorist hostages, and things like that you can run into as you make your way through the tower. And we can discuss some of those real quick before we actually go into the playthrough, but it'll make way more sense once you actually see it in action, but we'll check out some of it. So you've got door cards. You also have hallway cards. These are going to be your main ways of entering locations. So you'll see up in the top right corner of these cards, it's got the location icon, which matches the location icon on the back of this card. So typically when you resolve a hallway or a door, you'll get to flip a location card. If it's got 1 location icon, you'll flip over the top location card and resolve it. If it's got 2 location icons, like on this door, you'll flip over the top 2 location cards. You'll get to choose one to discard, and then the other one will be the one that you'll choose to resolve. Pretty cool. So that's those 2 types of cards right there that'll mainly let you find locations. You've also got terrorist cards. So there's a terrorist card right there that's got 3 terrorists. There's one with 2, and here's one with 1. So they're going to have either 1, 2, or 3 terrorists. Oh, wait, this is a 2. This is a 2. I can count, guys. Let's see if we can find one with a 3 real quick. Yeah, they'll either have 1, 2, or 3 terrorists on the cards. And they're hiding in here, dude. They're way deep into the Kobayashi Tower. There we go. Cool. So let's try that again. They'll either have 1 with a single guy on it, and then it'll have 1 number up in the top left. They'll have 2 terrorists with 2 numbers up in the top left, or 3 terrorists with 3 numbers up in the top left. And what these numbers symbolize is the number that you're going to need to roll from your weapon attack, and you're going to have to roll equal to or greater than that number in order to defeat that terrorist. You cannot add numbers together. So if you rolled, say, a 3 and a 1, you don't add those together to get 4 to defeat this guy that has 4. You'd have to roll a 4 or better on 1 single die in order to defeat terrorists. If there are multiple terrorists, like in the case of the 2 or 3 terrorists, you'd have to defeat all of them. So you'd want to roll multiple dice. And like in this case, we rolled a 2 that's equal to or greater than 2. And we rolled a 5 that's equal to or greater than 4. We would defeat this terrorist. And same thing with the 3. You'd have to defeat all 3 of them. If you manage to fail and you don't defeat all the terrorists in a single roll, the combat will continue, but you'll take 1 damage from the terrorist regardless of how many terrorists are on the card. So even if there are 3 and you don't roll all 3 numbers, let's say you rolled a 5, a 2, and a 1. So you got the 5, you got the 2, but you failed to get the 3, you would still just take 1 damage. Or even if you didn't roll high enough to get 2 of them, say we rolled a 5 and 2 1s, we got the 5, but we didn't get the 3 or the 2, you'd still only take 1 damage. You wouldn't take 2 damage, you wouldn't take 3, just 1. Okay, let's put these dice back on our handgun over here. The other thing to mention about the terrorist is they give you a certain number of cards that you can draw as potential items. So when you defeat 1 terrorist card, you'll get to draw 1 card off the top of the deck. And if it is an item card, you'll be able to add that down here to your inventory. And if you've got 2 enemies here, you'll be able to draw 2 cards off the top of the deck. And if one is an item, you can add it to your inventory. And then you would put the other one back into the middle of the deck. And same thing with the 3 terrorists. You would draw 3 cards off the top of the deck. If one of them was an item, like the smoke bomb here, it's got the item icon. You'd be able to put it into your inventory. And then the other 2, you would slide into the middle of the deck like so. Oh, and also, it's not only just items, it's items, hostages, or weapons. So that's an important clarification. If you defeat a terrorist, when you draw those cards to check, if any of them are an item, a weapon, or a hostage. So not just items. Cool. So those are the 3 types of cards that you can acquire from them. Also, last thing to note about the terrorist cards is they'll all have these 2 noise icons at the bottom right. These are the bell icons. They stand for noise, as you can see over here on your reference sheet. That means that as you're making your way through the tower, you're going to have cards out on the board like this. Let's see if we can find another noise icon real quick. So as you're exploring, you're going to be laying cards out in a line like this. And if you draw a terrorist card and you've got 2 cards that give you noise, 2 or more, that's going to trigger the terrorist card. And you'd have to scoop up all the cards in the row, discard them over to the discard pile, and then you would have to fight that terrorist. Also, if you happen to already have a terrorist on the board and then you draw into a second terrorist, you would have to fight the stronger of the 2 terrorists and discard the other one, the weaker one, along with all the other cards on the board. If there's a tie, you would fight the one that has more terrorists on the card. Cool. Okay, so those are the terrorist cards. Then there's a couple other types of cards. There are test cards that'll have the exclamation point. Whenever you draw these, you'll have to roll your test dice. If you've got 6, 5, or 4 health, you roll 2 dice. If you've got 3, 2, or 1, you'll roll 1 die, and you'll get either a penalty if you fail or some kind of reward if you succeed, typically. Then, of course, you've got weapon cards, so they'll have the little ammo, like bullet icon up in the top right, and those will go into your inventory. You can have an infinite number of items and weapons and hostages in your inventory, and the weapons will either be in the form of guns, like the handgun, there's a shotgun, there's a machine gun, or you'll find grenades as well. Cool. And then there are hostages, like Mr. Kobayashi himself right here. So they'll have the little hostage icon up in the top right, and typically you'll have to use search icons in order to find these guys. They'll go into your inventory just like an item or a weapon, and you'll flip them over whenever you use them in order to gain their one-time effect. Also, one last thing I should mention too about the terrorist cards. If they have this icon, if they have the hostage icon over here on the left side of the card near their target number, if they damage you and you have a hostage in your inventory, they'll attack a hostage before they actually deal damage to you, and it'll kill the hostage. If you've got multiple hostages in your inventory, let's see if we can find another one real quick. There are a few. I believe there are 4 in the deck, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's 4. Here's another one right here. Agent O'Neill. Let's say that we had already used Agent O'Neill and flipped him face down, and we were fighting this terrorist. If he hit us, since he's got the hostage icon, he's always going to target the face-up hostages first. So he would kill Mr. Kobayashi. Then if he hit us again, then he would kill this face-down hostage right here. Cool. And that is pretty much it. So the last thing to look at, so that this all makes sense, is the card layout here. So on the left side of the card up at the top, it's going to have some little icons. And of course, you could check your reference sheet to see what those icons mean. These are going to show you what the card gives you. So this hallway gives you 1 search action. In the bottom right, it shows you which icons you need in order to interact with that card. So to interact with the hallway, you need 2 movement icons. And then up in the top right, it shows what it gives you. In the case of the hallway, it lets you draw a location card. So let's get into the gameplay, guys. And this is going to make a lot more sense once you actually see it in action. You've got the basic idea of the rules. And like I said, once you actually see it, it's all going to tie together. It's all going to come together and make a lot more sense. So let's get this shuffled up. And we're going to head into Kobayashi Tower. And we got to go rescue our wife, man. These terrorists have raided the building. They're taking people hostage. And we got to save our wife and get the heck out of here, dude, before something bad happens. So this is what we're going to do. We've got our health set up to 6. We've got our time set to 20. We got our handgun with a 3 magazine and our 4 ammunition dice. We got our chocolates ready to go, dude, in case we get a sweet tooth while we're traveling through the tower. And now, first thing we're going to do is we got 2 actions that we can take every turn. We can explore and flip over the top card of the hunted deck, or we can hide. And I'll show you how hiding works whenever we get to it. So first, let's explore. We're going to go ahead and flip over the top card. And we got a grenade card. So this is it's going to generate 1 noise. It's going to give us 1 movement, and it requires 2 search icons in order to interact with it. And this is the type of card it is. It is a weapon card. And if we got it, it would give us 1d8. We'd be able to attack with this and roll a d8. Okay, we're going to draw another card. And would you look at that? We drew the exact same card. That is weird. We drew another grenade. So this doesn't do us any good because they give us movement icons, but they require search icons in order to interact with them. So we're going to flip again. And we've got a shotgun here. This one also gives us some movement, but it requires 3 search icons in order to interact with it. So we're finding a lot of weapons so far. Okay, we found a door. It also gives us movement. Dude, we're gonna be running through this place in a minute here, but it requires a key icon in order to interact with. And unfortunately, we don't have a key on any of the other cards. So we're going to keep going here. Okay, and we found a distraction card. This is also making noise, so is the door. So if we were to draw a terrorist card right now, since we have 2 or more cards that have noise icons, all of these cards would get discarded and we would have to fight that terrorist card. So there's a lot of like push your luck going on in this game too, because we already had 2 noise icons, but we got to find something. So I decided to keep pushing. If I wanted to, let's say that I hadn't done that. And you can do this even when there's a terrorist on the board. You can choose to hide instead of exploring. You would move your time track down by 1 and you would scoop up all the cards and discard them. So sometimes you want to do that if you get like a really strong terrorist out there, or maybe you'll draw like a triple terrorist card and you don't want to fight them and you don't want to risk pushing your luck into more noise that might trigger the fight, or a second terrorist, which would also trigger the fight. You could spend the time to hide, scoop up all of those cards, including the terrorist, and discard them off to the side. But in this case, I chose to explore. And this is going to give us a search icon, and it requires a movement to get it. So since we can't get any of these items because the grenades require 2 search and the shotguns requires 3, and we've only got the 1 search, I do want to get this distraction card. It requires 1 movement in order to get it. So I'm actually going to discard this grenade since it's got this noise icon. You can see this one doesn't, which is kind of cool. The cards are a little bit different. So it wasn't exactly the same. Let's get rid of this noise. Let's get rid of that. We're going to use the 1 movement icon, and it requires 1 movement. In the bottom right corner shows the requirement to get this distraction card, and it is an item as shown by the hand item icon in the top right. And we'll get that in our inventory, and we'll slide the other 3 cards down. And this card says discard to re-roll a die. So it's a one-time use item. We can discard this card to re-roll any die, whether it's a test die or an attack die. Okay, we're going to keep going. Okay, we found the radios. So this is going to give us a movement, and it also requires search actions. We're finding a lot of items so far, but we can't interact with it. It's got the noise icon. So if we draw a terrorist, it's going to trigger. Okay, we didn't. We drew into a hostage. Let's move these up this way a little bit because we're going to need to make some room here. I'll put them in order. There we go. Yeah, that way we got a little bit more room going this way. So we found a hostage, Sergeant Pratt, but she requires 2 search icons in order to acquire her. And again, all we've got is a bunch of movement icons so far, but she does give us a key. If you look in the bottom right of the door here, it requires a key. So we're going to use Sergeant Pratt. It's also good too because we're getting rid of a noise. We're going to discard her for the key icon action, and we're going to interact with the door, and we're going to get to draw the top 2 cards of the location deck since we got the 2 location icons here. And we're going to pick one to resolve and discard the other. So we got the stairwell. Draw 3 cards. If any of them are a terrorist, it attacks you. Shuffle all other cards back into the deck. That one's pretty nasty. Or we got the Nurse's Station. You may lose 1 time to heal 2 health. Now, we're at full health. We don't need to gain the health, but I'd rather just resolve this one because it says you may lose 1 time. We don't have to lose the time. I'd rather do that than risk running into terrorists on the stairwell and getting attacked. So we're going to go ahead and head to the Nurse's Station, and we're going to set those cards here, and we're going to form 1 discard pile right here. Cool. So we've traveled down 2 locations so far. We're that much closer to reaching the rooftop in the location deck. So we're going to slide this card down, and we're going to keep on going. We flip the next card, and we've got a terrorist. So this guy requires a 5 or better to defeat. He's pretty tough. And as you can see, if we draw the 2 noise icons, it's going to trigger him. We've only got 1 noise icon out on the board right now. So now here comes the push your luck element of the game. Do we want to keep exploring, or do we want to hide? Honestly, I don't want to fight a guy that requires 5 or more. So I'm going to spend 1 time, and we're going to hide. And we're going to scoop up all of these cards. It would have been nice to get the radio or the grenade or definitely the shotgun, but I don't want to push my luck and risk it. So we're going to hide, discard all those cards, and then flip another one and keep exploring. Okay, we've got a test. It's got the exclamation point, so it's a test, and it says test. It says if you are, it's called negotiate. If you succeed, gain 2 time. If you fail, lose 1 time. So since we've got 6, 5, or 4 health, we get to roll 2 dice, and we need a 5 or better. Anytime you do a test in the game, you need to roll a 5 or better. And we got a 6. Let's go. And of course, you cannot add the 2 dice together. You need to roll a 5 or better on a single dice. So we got 6. If you succeed, gain 2 time. So we go back up to 20. You can never exceed 20 time. You can never exceed 6 health. You'll just go back up to full. Okay, we'll put our test dice back over here, and then you discard the test when you're done with it. Okay, let's keep on searching. Okay, we got another distraction card. This gives us a search icon, and it requires a movement. We're going to keep going. Okay, ooh, we got a hallway here. It does generate 1 noise, and it requires a movement. So we're going to keep going. Okay, we got a hallway with a search. This one requires 2 movement in order to go down. This is crazy. Let's keep going. We can't do anything just yet. Okay, we found a door. Now, this requires a key. We don't have a key out here, but it does give us a movement. So I'm going to use that movement, and we're also getting rid of a noise, which is good. And we're going to go down this hallway because it requires 1 movement, as you can see with the move icon, and it's going to allow us to explore 1 location. So let's draw a location. And we got the vault, and it's got the test icon, and it says test. Succeed and search the discard pile, which is over here, for any card and add it to your inventory. If you fail, you lose 3 time. Okay, so we're going to roll, and we need a 5 or better. Okay, we rolled snake eyes here. We rolled double 1s. I think I'm going to use the chocolates because I kind of want to go through here and maybe get one of these items. Let's see what's in here. It has to be an item, right? For any card. Oh my God, dude, we could get the shotgun. The shotgun is in here. Dude, that would be insane. Okay, so we're going to eat our chocolates. Discard to re-roll any number of dice you just rolled. And the chocolates is a double-sided starter item. It does not go into the discard pile. It gets removed from the game. So I'm going to set it off to the side, and we get to re-roll these dice. So yeah, discard to re-roll any number of dice that you just rolled. So we can re-roll both of these, and we need a 5 or a 6. And we got a 5. Let's go, guys. That is amazing. So we search the vault, succeed, and search the discard pile for any card and add it to your inventory. So we're going to search the discard pile. We're going to grab that shotgun, dude. Let's go. We'll add that to our inventory. And then we'll see that it has 2 magazines. So we'll take 2 magazine tokens and place those on the card. And it gives you 2d10 to roll for damage. So we'll take the 2d10, set that on the shotgun card. That is crazy, dude. That is amazing. And this normally requires 3 search actions to get. That is a very, very difficult item to get. So we lucked out big time. The chocolates came in clutch. Cool. And we're 1 card closer to getting to the rooftop. So we'll slide that card over. We'll explore some more. We got another hallway. This is going to require 1 movement. It gives us a search action. It is going to make some noise. And we got another test. It says, if you succeed, gain a key token. Okay, so we're going to search some pockets. We found a dead guy on the ground. We're going to search their pockets. We need a 5 or 6. And we did not get it. We got a 1 and a 3, so we failed, but nothing bad happens, fortunately. We just don't find any keys. Had we found a key, you would take one of these key tokens and you'd be able to keep it either in your inventory, or what I like to do is I like to put it over here on my player board. As long as you remember that you have it, and you'd be able to use that to unlock typically a door, like those door cards that we saw earlier. If they have the key icon in the bottom right, rather than using a card that's got a key icon on it, you could discard your key token to be able to interact with that card. Cool. Okay, let's keep on going. We're going to explore some more. Wow, we got another test here. Barricade test. Succeed and gain 1 time. Fail and fight a level 3 terrorist. Okay, so we're going to roll. We need a 5 or 6. And we got a 6. Dude, let's go. So we succeeded. We would gain 1 time, but we're already at max time. Dude, we're doing really well right now. This is great. Okay, let's keep exploring. And we found our first hostage, dude. So we found Ellen. It says flip this card to discard a non-terrorist card. So if we were able to get Ellen in our inventory over here, we'd be able to use that ability. Now she gives us a movement, and she costs 2 search icons, and we've got 3 search icons out in play. So now we've got some decisions to make. Do we want to spend her movement to move down this hallway and draw a location card, or do we want to spend 2 of these search icons on our other cards to pick up Ellen? So flip this card to discard a non-terrorist card. That's an okay ability. Typically, you're going to want to use that on a card that's got a noise icon to get rid of a noise. But honestly, I think I'd rather use her movement and venture further into the location deck, because that's the win condition. So we're going to use her for her movement. And we're going to go down this hallway right here. Now, this one only requires 1 movement, whereas this one requires 2. So we can only go down this one. And we'll get to look at a location card. And we got the elevator shaft. This one's nasty. It's a test. Succeed and gain 1 time. Fail and take 2 damage. Okay, we're going to go ahead and roll. We need a 5 or 6. And we got it with the 5. Let's go, guys. We would gain a time, but we're at max time. We're doing really, really well right now. Getting lucky dice rolls. We're going to keep exploring. Okay, and we've got a terrorist. This is a double terrorist. We need a 3 and a 4 to defeat this guy. Fortunately, we don't have any cards out that make noise yet, so I'm going to push my luck here. And we ran into another test. Dude, tests like crazy. It's an ambush test. If you succeed, search the deck or discard pile for a radio, add it to your inventory, and reshuffle. If you fail, you take 1 damage. Okay, so we need a 5 or a 6 once again. You always need 5 or 6 whenever you do these test rolls. So we're going to fail. We're going to end up taking 1 damage from this ambush, and we're going to go from 6 down to 5. We could have used our distraction, discard to reroll a die, but I'm okay with taking the 1 damage because there are cards like this test card, like the elevator shaft, that deal 2 damage to you, and I'd rather save this for that situation or for a situation when we're fighting against the terrorist. Okay, we're going to keep exploring, and we found Mr. Kobayashi. He does give us a key. He requires 2 search icons to get, and he makes noise, and he is a hostage, of course, and it says if you have him in your inventory, you can flip this card face down to place any item card in the row into your inventory for free. And of course, this is called the row. He requires 2 search icons to get, and we've got a search and a search here. So we're going to do that. We're going to discard these 2 cards for their search icons. And we got the double search icon here. We get Mr. Kobayashi. So we've rescued him. Slide this card down. And now if we get an item that we really like in the inventory, and it's got the little hand icon, as you can see here, the item icon, it's got the hand like that. We can flip him face down and just take that card into our inventory for free. So he's really, really useful. Okay, let's go ahead and flip. Okay, we got a hallway card. It requires 1 movement. It makes noise, and it's got a key. So now, if we push our luck and we draw another noise, we're going to have to fight this guy. But I think I do want to push my luck. Do I? Or do we want to hide? We do. We got time for days. We're going to hide. We're going to spend 1 to hide, and we'll discard these 2 cards. If we draw into a bell, a noise icon, or a terrorist, we made the right decision. Another test. This is crazy. All the tests are just like clumped together. It's a standoff. If you fail, take 1 damage and discard a hostage. Oh my God, that would be terrible. We'd have to discard Mr. Kobayashi. Nothing positive if you succeed other than you don't take damage and you don't lose your hostage. So let's see. We need a 5 or 6. We got it with the 6. Let's go, guys. So we take down this terrorist that's taking this guy hostage in the standoff. Mr. Kobayashi's safe. We're like, follow us, man. We got this. I got you. We're going to keep exploring. And we found an item. It is the med kit. It makes noise. It gives us 1 movement, and it requires 1 search action. It says discard to lose 1 time, but gain 1 health. Okay, we're going to keep going. we found a door. It's got a search icon and a movement. You know what? We're going to use it for its search action. To search, we need the one search icon for the medkit, and we'll get this in our inventory. We'll put that over here. Again, you can have an infinite number of items in your inventory. Okay, we found the regroup card. Now, this one is pretty interesting. This is a little bit different. This one card is different than most of the other cards in the game. You have to spend time. So you'll notice in the bottom right here, it's got an hourglass icon, and that matches your time icon here. In order to pick up this card, you'd have to spend one time, and it gives you a regroup token. It has the little die icon with the +2, and that would be this dice modifier or regroup token. And you'd be able to keep this over here in your inventory, and you can spend that at any point when you roll a die, whether it's a test die or a weapon die, to add to your die roll. Very, very useful. Those come in handy a lot. I use those. I go for this card constantly. Or, of course, you can use it to move and to search, and it's generating noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the one time and go down to 18, and I'm going to get that regroup token, and I'm going to put that on my board over this way. Nice. Okay, let's keep on searching. We found ammo here. It makes noise, gives us a movement, requires a search icon. It counts as a weapon, and it says that you can discard this to gain a magazine token for your handgun. Of course, you have to have that card in your inventory to do so. You can't just discard it from here. So we're going to keep searching. We got another regroup. Dude, let's go. I'm going to spend another time. We're going to get another regroup token. That is awesome. Let's go. So we've got 2 regroup tokens now. Very good. We're going to keep exploring. No way. What? Oh my God, dude. Somebody stacked the deck, guys. I'm going to spend another time and get the other regroup token. That is insanely lucky. And you guys saw me shuffle. Dude, that is so cool. Let's go. I didn't even know that there were 3 of those. Okay, we got a radio. This card is so good too. You can discard it to draw 3 cards, and if any of them are terrorists, you discard them and then reshuffle the rest back into the deck. It requires 2 search icons though. It makes noise, and it gives us some movement. So we got 2 noise icons out right now. Let's see if we're going to run into any terrorists and get into any fights, man. We haven't fought anything yet, huh? No, we haven't fought anything yet. This is crazy. Oh, we got a grenade. That's making noise, but we need 2 search icons for that too. We're going to keep going. We got a hallway, and it requires 2 movement. So let's use the grenade for its movement and the movement from the ammo. I want to keep the radio in play. I would really like to get that. And we're going to use those 2 movement from the radio and from the ammo and the grenade rather for the 2 movement requirement on the hallway. And we'll get to draw 1 location card. So let's draw a location. And we found the hotel room. You may lose 1 time to draw the top 3 hunted cards. Place them back on top of the deck in any order. Do I want to do that? Sure, let's do it. We'll spend the time, and we'll look at the top 3 cards, and we can put them back in any order. Ooh, there's a terrorist. That's not good. There's not going to be any search icons coming up. We're not going to be able to search for the radio, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it like this, so that way we can go into the hallway, and we're going to spend the smoke bomb to go into the hallway. Put those back on top, so we'll go. Got smoke bomb, we'll go again. We got the hallway, and we're going to use the movement of the smoke bomb to move into the 1 movement requirement of the hallway, and we're going to get to draw another location card. We found the air ducts. This is a test. It's got the exclamation point, and it says test, succeed and gain 1 time, fail and fight a level 4 terrorist. Okay, so we're going to roll 2 dice. We need 5 or better, and we got it with the 5. Dudes, we are getting so lucky. So succeed and gain 1 time. There we go. We're going to keep going. We know that this was a terrorist card right here. It's a double 4, and we've already got a noise out. So if we make 1 more noise, we're going to have to fight this guy. So I'm going to spend the time to hide, and we're going to discard the row. Let's keep going. And we would have had to, because we would have pulled into a second terrorist. And anytime you pull into a second terrorist when there's already 1 out, you have to fight the stronger of the 2. This guy, I'm not going to be too worried about, so I feel safe exploring rather than hiding. Okay, we got a hallway. We need a movement. It doesn't give us anything. Ooh, we got another hallway. It gives us a search icon. It requires 2 movement, and it's got 1 noise. So if we draw another noise or another terrorist, we're going to have to fight a terrorist. Let's go. Oh my God, dude, another hallway. It doesn't make noise. I'm going to push my luck again. Oh man, and we drew into a second terrorist. Now, since this terrorist has more of them on the card, and you can see up here, it's got the 3 icons plus the 3 terrorists. That is stronger than this terrorist. So now we're going to have to discard all of these and the weaker terrorist card and we've got to get into a fight with the stronger terrorists. Finally, we get to get into a fight, guys, so you can see how this works. So now what we're going to do is we're going to decide which of our 2 weapons we want to use, and we got to roll equal to or higher than all 3 of these numbers on the card. And again, you cannot add the dice together. You got to roll them. You got to roll those numbers individually. So I'm going to use my handgun. Anytime you fire your gun or reload your gun, you have to spend a time. So we're going to spend 1 time, go down to 14, and you can choose any number of dice that you want in order to roll. So I'm going to roll 3 dice from the handgun, and you cannot use 2 weapons at the same time. You couldn't roll some dice from this one and some dice from the shotgun. You got to choose 1 weapon. So I'm going to roll 3 dice. Actually, you know what? I'm going to roll all 4 dice. Let's see what we get. Okay, we got a 6. So that's going to equal or exceed the 5. We got a 4. That's going to equal or exceed the 4. And we got a couple of 2s. And I'm going to spend one of our regroup tokens to add 2 to one of those dice and bump it up to a 4. And that equals or exceeds the 3, and we have defeated the 3 terrorists. Let's go. Then these dice will get moved over here to the discarded dice pile over this way. And now we'll check the top right corner of the card, and it says +3 cards. So we'll discard this card. We get to draw 3 cards. And if there's an item, a hostage, or a weapon among them, we can take the card. So we got a hallway, a door, and then we got a machine gun, which is a weapon card, and we can take that card into our inventory. So we will do so. And then the other 2 cards get placed roughly in the middle of the deck. If you want, you could shuffle them back in, but the official rules in the book say that whenever you get items from terrorists, the other cards that you don't get, you put them back into the middle of the deck. There might be a good reason for that. I'm not sure. But yeah, so I've just been doing it exactly the way it says in the rules. I just cut the deck about halfway and stick them back in the middle. Okay, so we're going to get 2 magazines on this machine gun. Dude, we got so many weapons. This is insane. And it uses 3d8. Really, really good. Really good. Dude, we're locked and loaded, guys. We're going to keep exploring. Okay, we got a test. Ooh, this one is really nasty. Explosion. If you fail, take 2 damage. I hate this card. We need a 5 or a 6. We didn't get it, but I'm going to use a +2 from our regroup tokens to add that to the 3 and bump it up to a 5, and we have passed the test. So we don't take any damage, and we'll discard that card. Let's keep exploring. Okay, we got a level 3 terrorist here. We're going to keep going. We found a door. Ooh, it's got 1 noise icon. If we draw another one or another terrorist, we're going to have to fight. And we drew a 2nd noise icon. So that means that we're going to have to fight this terrorist here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a time and I'm going to reload my handgun. So you have to spend a time when you reload, and then you discard one of the magazine tokens. And then you see how many dice and of what type you get for the weapon. You get 4d6 for the handgun. And then you put those back onto the weapon. Then I'm going to spend 1, and I'm going to roll 2 dice in order to shoot at this guy with the handgun. And we got a 5, and that equal or exceeds the 3. So we took them down. We'll discard our dice, and we get to draw 1 card. If it's an item, a weapon, or a hostage, we can take it into our inventory. And if not, which it isn't, it is a door, we'll put it roughly in the middle of the deck. Okay, let's keep exploring. We've got Clarence. It is a hostage. We need a search icon in order to find him. We got another terrorist. Here come all the terrorists. And another terrorist. Man, so we got 2 terrorists out. So we've got to discard the weaker of the 2 and fight the stronger one, or the one that has more terrorists on the card. And I think I am going to spend a time and roll 2d8 from the machine gun over here. Let's try to machine gun these guys down. And, ooh, man, we got a 3 and a 3. You know what? I'm just going to spend my last regroup token. You can see how powerful those are now. +2 to add 2 to this 3 to make it 5. So our 3 beats the 2, and our 5 is equal or greater than the 4. So we took down this guy. We're going to discard those 2 dice. And we're going to get to draw 2 cards. If any are items, weapons, or hostages, we can take them. We got a weapon here in the form of the grenade. So we're going to grab that down here. It's also worth noting, too, anytime you use a grenade, it is a weapon. It counts as a weapon, so you have to spend a time in order to throw the grenade, but it's a one-time use item that you just discard. And then these guys, these gnarly dudes right here, the 3 terrorist cards are going to go into the middle of the deck, like so. Okay, we're going to keep going. We got a hallway. We got Agent O'Neill. We need 2 movement to get into here, and he's only got 1 movement. And man, there's already 2 noise out. We don't want any terrorists. Okay, cool. We got another movement. So we're going to use the movement from the smoke bomb, the movement from Agent O'Neill. By the way, he's a hostage who says, flip this card. Like if you have him in your inventory, you can flip him face down to pay one less search icon for a weapon card in the row. But dude, we've already got like all the weapons basically, so we're not worried about that. We're going to use him and the smoke bomb for their movement icons, and we need 2 movement icons to go down this hallway and draw a location card. Guard station. You may lose 2 time to draw cards until you find a weapon card. Place it into your inventory and reshuffle. I feel good with what we got, man. We got a handgun, a shotgun, a machine gun, and a grenade. I think we're good. I'd rather not spend any more time because remember, your time is a limited resource, and if it hits 0 and runs out, you lose the game. So, and it says you may lose 2 times. So we're going to choose not to, and we're going to keep going. We've got the hallway. Also, it's worth noting too, if you ever run out of cards in the deck, you reshuffle the discard pile to form a new draw deck because we're getting pretty close to that. Got the hallway. We need 2 movement. It gives us a search icon. We got a door that requires a key. It gives us 1 move. If we get another move, we can go down the hallway. Okay, we got the hallway. This one requires only 1 movement. So we're going to use the 1 move of the doorway. Plus, we're getting rid of a noise, which is good. And we're going to get to draw a location card. And we found the gift shop. Either place the chocolates card back in your inventory or gain 1 time. Dude, let's get the chocolates back, man. So we can take the chocolates back that were removed from play and place that back into our inventory. Let's go. That was amazing. Or we could have gained 1 time. Let's keep searching. We found a door. It's got a movement icon and a search, but we need a key in order to open it. And we found a flashlight, and it's got a movement icon. So we're going to use the movement of the flashlight and the movement of the door for the 2 movement required to go down the hallway, and we're going to draw another location. Now we're zipping through the building, dude. We found the surveillance room. You may lose 1 time to draw the top 3 hunted cards. Discard 1, place 1 on the bottom of the deck, and place 1 on the top of the deck. Let's do it. So we're going to go down to 10 time. We'll draw the top 3 cards. And we're going to get to discard 1. Let's discard these jerks right here. We could put a card on top and 1 on the bottom. Let's put this one on the top since it doesn't generate any noise. And we'll put this one on the bottom. And we'll keep searching the building. And we've got a terrorist here. We're going to keep searching. Oh, another terrorist. So this guy's a 4. He's a 3. So we have to fight the stronger of the 2. So these will get discarded. And we've got to fight this guy. So we're going to spend a time in order to fire a weapon. And I think I want to shoot at him with... Let's shoot at him with the... Let's shoot at him with the machine gun. We got a 50-50 if we do the handgun. Let's do the machine gun. Let's do the machine gun. Is there anything else over here that we want to use? We could use a grenade. Let's throw a grenade at him. So here's an interesting thing about the grenade. With the grenade, you can hit multiple terrorists with the grenade. So let's pull one out of here. See if I can give you a good example of this. Let's see. We need one that's got like 2. Yeah, like this. So like if we had this guy out on the board and we rolled, if we rolled equal to or higher than their combined number, the 2 and the 4 together, so if we rolled 6 or higher, it would kill both of them outright with the grenade. So that is that's a little plus side of the grenade, is that you can actually kill multiple enemies with it. So I think I'm going to hang on to this for now. And I'm just going to roll the D8 from the machine gun. We need 4 or better. Ooh, we got a 2. That is no good. We could discard, or a distraction, discard to reroll a die. Let's do that. Ooh, we got 3. It's still not enough. We could discard the chocolates to reroll any number of dice and try again. Let's do it. We're going to eat the chocolates. Let's see if we can get this guy, man. And we got an 8. There we go. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. We took down the terrorist, and we get to draw 1 card. We'll discard this die. If it's an item, which it is, a weapon or a hostage, you can add it to your inventory. So we got another med kit. Very nice. And again, you can discard 1 time. You can discard this card and lose a time to heal 1 health with the med kits. Okay, let's keep on searching. We got ammo here. I'm gonna keep going. Oh man, a hostage or a terrorist. He's a pretty nasty one too. We're gonna keep going because we don't have any noise out on the board. Now we do. Those give us movement icons. They require search icons. We could use Mr. Kobayashi. Flip this card to place any item card in the row into your inventory for free. So we're going to do that. So we're going to flip him face down. We've used him up. And we can either grab the ammo, which we can discard to gain a magazine token for a handgun, or we can get the flashlight, which I'm going to get because it's an item. Discard to draw 3 cards. If you find a hostage card, place it in your inventory and reshuffle the rest. So we're going to discard that, plus we're getting rid of a noise. So we're going to draw 3. If any of these are a hostage, we could place it in our inventory. They are not. So we're going to have to reshuffle these back into the deck. We got some information too. We can see that there's another terrorist right there. Shuffle these up. So I'm going to spend a time and I'm going to hide. And we're going to discard the row and then draw. And good thing we did. We drew into this level 3 terrorist. We would have had to fight these two dudes since they're stronger and there's more of them. I'm going to flip and we got a standoff. It's a test. If you fail, take 1 damage and discard a hostage. We can roll 2 dice because we're still in the blue zone. We need a 5 or a 6. We got it. Let's go. And yeah, nothing positive if you succeed other than you don't lose the health and you don't lose the hostage. Also, if we would have failed, we would have lost Mr. Kobayashi, even though he's face down. There are some like point scoring mechanics that you can use in the game if you want. I haven't personally used those. I'm not too big on that, but it does mention that in the rule book. And so hostages that you have will be worth a certain number of points, whether they're face up or face down at the end of the game. But the main goal is to reach the rooftop and defeat the last boss to beat the game. So we're going to go ahead and flip again. We got a door. Ooh, there's a noise. I'm going to push my luck here. And we got another noise. That's 2 noise icons, so we have to fight this guy. 3 or better, that seems easy enough. I'm going to spend 1, and we're going to roll 1 die. No, we're going to roll 2 dice. And we need 3 or better. And we didn't get it. You got to be freaking kidding me. He's going to deal 1 damage to us. We go down to 3. These are discarded. I'm going to spend a time to reload my pistol. There we go. We'll reload the handgun. And we're running low on time, guys. I'm going to spend another time to roll again to attack him. We really need this. You have got to be kidding me. Not like this, guys. Oh, here comes the game night luck. Here it comes. This is what you guys watch for. We take another damage. We got to spend another time. I'm going to roll 2 again. There we go. We take him down finally. We had a 66% chance. I had to roll 5 dice in order to kill this guy. Or was it 6 dice? I don't know. Either way, ridiculous. We do take him down, though. We get to draw a card. It is a weapon. It's a grenade, so we get to add that to our inventory. The deck has run out, so we're going to shuffle it up. And we're going to go through the deck once again. Man, I was feeling great about this run. Now, not so much, because we only get to roll 1 test die now since we're down into 3 or less health. And we've only got 4 time left, dudes. Yeah. I thought we were definitely going to get this. We were crushing this run up until then. Up until then. But, hey, we might look out. We might be able to get some time. That would be good. We might run into some tests and be able to pass and get some time. But it always makes it harder because we can only roll 1 die. So you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm actually going to spend a time and use this med kit to discard it, lose a time, and gain a health. And go back up to 4. So now we can roll 2 dice if we do run into any tests. And that might be preemptive. Probably is, but it's okay. We're going to keep going. We found a door. Found a smoke bomb. Okay, it's making noise. We've got movement from both of these. We need a key for this and a search icon for that one. And check it out, guys. We got the key from Sergeant Pratt once again. She is really good at unlocking doors. So we're going to unlock the door, and we get to look at 2 locations. Choose one and discard the other. Okay, we got the boardroom. Ooh, test. Succeed and gain 1 time. Fail and search the deck for a hostage card and remove it from the game. Shuffle the rest back into the deck. That's probably the one that we're going to do. Then we got the office. Test. Succeed and search the deck or discard pile for a distraction card and add it to your inventory. Reshuffle. Fail and lose 2 time. No thank you. We're going to go to the boardroom. So let's go ahead and roll. We need a 5 or better. Yes, we got it with the 6, guys. Let's go. That is amazing. So we succeeded. We get to gain 1 time. Amazing. Nice. So we basically got to heal 1 for free. That is awesome to get our extra test die. That is sick. Okay, we're going to keep going. We got a radio here. It's a movement icon, but we need 2 search in order to get it. Oh my God. That is a whopper of a terrorist, and we've got 2 noise icons, so we've got to fight them. Dang, dudes. This one's going to be rough. Oh man, we're running so low on time, dudes. We are running so low on time. What do we do? I guess I'm going to spend the time to reload the machine gun. That seems good. And then we're going to spend a time to fire the machine gun. Oh my God, dude, we're running out of time. We need a 3, a 4, and a 5. Oh my God, we got a 3, we got a 6, and we got an 8. Get absolutely destroyed. And we get to draw 3 cards. The machine gun just ripped those dudes up. Okay, and we got no items, weapons, or hostages, so these are going to go into the middle of the deck. I just noticed, too, the next card is Explosion. If you fail that test, you take 2 damage. Get that out of our town. Let's put that in the middle of the deck. There we go. Okay, we're going to keep exploring. We're getting very close, guys. How many cards are left? 4, and the roof card is in the last 3 cards, so it could be there. We could technically be 2 cards away, potentially. We're going to keep going. Oh my god, we've got a key in the hallway and a key for the door, and we get to draw 2 location cards. Guys, this could be it. We draw 1. We draw 2. Dang, it's not it. Okay, we got the boiler room test. Succeed and gain 1 health. Fail and move the top terrorist card from the discard pile to the middle of the hunted deck. Or the supply room. You may lose 1 time to draw 4 cards. If any of them are an item, you may put it into your inventory. Shuffle all other cards back into the deck. I think I'm going to go with this one, but we don't have to do it because it says that you may do it. So we're not going to spend any time because we're already too low on time. We're just going to keep exploring. We're so close, guys. Can we do it? Got a couple of hallways. We need some movement. Oh no, we got a standoff here. So we got to roll for this test. If you fail, you take 1 damage and discard a hostage. Need a 5 or a 6. Ooh, yikes. We didn't get it, and we don't have any way to re-roll. So, dang, we're going to take 1 damage, which means we're only going to be able to roll 1 die from now on. And we lose 1 hostage. So, Mr. Kobayashi gets sent to the discard pile. And I'm going to move this die up this way so that I don't accidentally roll it. And we're going to set this over this way. We're going to keep exploring. We've got Ellen. She's got a movement icon for us, and we need 1 movement to go down this hallway. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Okay, we're gonna draw a location card, and we found the rooftop, guys. Oh my god. Okay, we found the rooftop, but there's bad news. There's bad news that I just realized. I don't think we can win. We're gonna see what we can do to this guy, but here's how the last fight works. If you defeat Lars, that's this guy right here. There's our wife. If you defeat Lars, you win. You've got to hit this guy 3 times with a 4 or better, a 5 or better, or a 6 or better. Here's the predicament we're in, guys. We've only got 2 dice on our shotgun. We would have to spend a time in order to shoot at him. So best case scenario, we would get to deal 2 of the damage to him. Then we're only going to be at 1 time. And if we wanted to throw our grenade, it would cost us a time, but then we would hit 0 time and we would be out of time and we would lose the game. So unfortunately, no matter what we do, we're going to lose. The only other option would be to spend a time to reload the machine gun to get 3 D8, but then we'd have to spend that last time to roll, and again, we'd be out of time. So we're going to see how much damage we can do to him just for fun. We're going to spend a time, and we're going to blast him with the shotgun. And we got a 5 and an 8, which means we get to cover up the 6 and the 5, and all he's got left is 4. And that's it, guys. He's going to deal 1 damage to us. And then we're out of ammo, and if we wanted to throw our grenade, since it's a weapon, we'd have to spend our last time in order to do so, or if we wanted to reload a weapon, we'd have to spend a time, and that means we are out of time, just barely out of time, man. Oh, that was so close, guys. But hey, there it is, dudes. There was a tutorial and playthrough of Hunted Kobayashi Tower by Gabe Barrett. I hope you guys enjoyed that, man. I hope this helped you out and taught you how to play the game. And to be able to see it in action is always a huge help. I know for me personally, that really helps me to actually see it in action. So there it is, guys. Hey, if you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up like button, hit the subscribe button, and click the bell to stay notified of future videos. And I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to have just straight up playthroughs of Hunted Kobayashi Tower coming to the channel soon. So if you're interested in that, be sure to tune in. And until next time, guys, have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next video.